All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 301 of the KissFAQ Podcast. I'm your host, Julian Gill. Today I'm joined by... I don't know which podcast I'm doing half the time these days, but today I'm joined by Ken, the voice of reason, 69th Blizzard.
Hey.
Bag boy Alex, welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
And staying up late in the far reaches of Northern Europe or Northern Scandinavia or somewhere up there, Daniel, Wheeze. Good to see you guys.
Hey.
All right, so, straight up, first piece of news, important piece of news, is on behalf of the whole KissFAQ family, we'd like to offer Vinnie Gonzalez and the friends and family of Nancy our deepest condolences on her passing. Obviously, losing someone to COVID is worse than losing someone normally because it's just going around and there's nothing you can do. So our deepest condolences to him. And anyone who doesn't know who Vinnie is, find out. Great guy. On that topic, how's everyone doing? Daniel, how are you? Everything good in your world?
Yeah, we have had about just over 1,000 deaths, mostly elderly people. The first famous guy died a few days ago, so that's the first known person that died, a TV host, and he was not very old. He was like 51, but we still go to school and we still attend school and go to work, and we have no quarantine over here yet. So.
Ken, how about you? How are you doing? Sorry you couldn't join us for last week's Look It's Rock and Roll episode. Lonnie's choice was, of course, Get a Grip. So if you haven't seen that episode, check that one out. We also did a chat with Andy Moyen and Brent Meredith about Wasp. So how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Sorry to miss that other episode, but hey, it is what it is. I'm doing okay here. It's just a little, going stir crazy. Want to get out in a bit. I mean, as far as getting out, I'm not getting out except for maybe if we need groceries and stuff like that, or mowing the lawn, stuff like that, outside the house kind of duties. But hey, you got to do what you need to do.
Yep, I go out on my balcony now and shout, "Hey, you, get off my lawn!" There's no one there, and we don't have a lawn, so that's how well I'm doing.
Yeah.
Alex, it's been a long time since you've been around. How are you doing? How's your daughter?
She's good. She's over a year. She's walking. We think she's talking. She says mama and papa, so that's a plus.
To start.
To start. And, we're surviving it. As you guys, I think a lot of you guys know, I'm in school, going to university, and about a month ago, obviously they put the university on shutdown and put everything classes to remote. And I'm in my last semester, which starts on Monday, and all those classes are now remote classes. So now we get to log on to Zoom at the appointed class time to do a big old fun-filled Skype session. So we'll see how that goes. Some of my teachers are still figuring out how technology works because some of them are still old school and use stone tablets in class. So we'll see how things go.
Stone tablets, the original. All right. So anyone had any purchases recently? Have you been spending your time trolling eBay while lockdown? I've been buying Aerosmith stuff for the book, but I haven't bought any Kiss stuff recently. Oh, I did order the new Staying Home tour shirt.
Oh, yeah, I was going to order that too. I haven't ordered anything.
Nope. All right. Then let's get into today's topic, which lipstick style, we're going to do a ranking. And because it's coming up to Ace Frehley's birthday, we're going to ruin it for him. We're going to give him a present of celebration of 15 Ace candles on a cake of awesomeness. How about that? And it's basically, we're going to rank all the Ace songs in the Kiss catalog. So 73 to 81 plus 98. And that pretty much sums it up. And there's a couple of debatable ones in here. Excluded Rock Bottom because, the instrumental twiddly fiddly bit, the nice bit. is completely separate section, basically just tacked onto it, so there's no point giving him any credit for the rest of the song when it more than likely wasn't part of, his composition. Also excluded are the instrumentals on which he contributed. Anything on the box set, which I don't think there was much on there off the top of my head anyway, but on the studio side. And Daniel takes issue with two of these, don't you? You've got asterisks by... we'll talk about those when we get to them. How about that? So, let's jump straight in. Coming in 15th place at the bottom. I wish I had a klaxon right now. With a whole 14 points, Torpedo Girl. Ken, get us started with your thoughts about that one and why it ranked pretty low for you.
It did. Yeah, it wasn't the bottom. It was very close to the bottom, almost the bottom on my list. But I don't know. I think the other songs that Ace has written are a lot better. Though I I do like the riff in Torpedo Girl. The bass riff. It's just a cool riff. Which we got to see at, I think, Gene Simmons' vault when Gene Simmons actually did the riff while Ace was sitting there. The rest of the song is kind of like, I don't understand the song, really, Torpedo Girl. I can imagine some things, but I'm not sure about it. It's just a kind of a goofy song. It's not a bad song. It's just falls low on my list.
Fair enough. Can't fault the voice of reason any time of day. Alex, it was pretty low on your list as well. How low was it?
Yeah, I put it as the lowest. When looking at this list altogether, I went through my iTunes. iTunes, if you have it set up, it'll show you how many times you play a song and stuff. And I looked at what songs came in, and it was the lowest one on there. So I figured, obviously, if it's pretty low on my iTunes rotation, I probably not the most craziest. And yeah, I've never liked the intro, the little siren aspect of it. I think kind of ruins it. Now, Ken, though, the bass line is awesome. I saw Ace in February of 2008, so just before Anomaly came out, and he did a medley, and that was the first song of the medley. And I do remember when the bass player at the time, Anthony Esposito, when he played it, I remember getting excited because I was like, holy crap, they're playing this song off Unmasked, just because they don't really do anything off Unmasked. But yeah, it's just not my favorite.
Fair enough. It's one of those songs. There's two really funky songs on Unmasked that have kind of that weird vibe going. Torpedo Girl is one, Easy As It Seems is another. They're very similar to my ear. And obviously everyone's ears are different. But, I've got it middle of the pack. It's always been a song. From the first time I heard Unmasked, it was one of the songs that jumped out for me. So very much middle of the road for as far as Ace's, songwriting goes. But I also thought I liked the klaxon and the stupid stuff. Maybe I just never progressed from age 14. Daniel, what about you? What did you find of Torpedo Girl?
Well, I had it in 13th place, so at the bottom for me as well. And I guess if you like wacky bass lines and wacky guitar riffs, this is your song. I don't, so I don't care for this one. I like more I prefer riffs that are a bit more menacing, like Fits Like a Glove, Cold Gin, Parasite, War Machine, that kind of stuff. This one, I really don't understand this song at all, and I think it's a stinker. Yes.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Cute.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's quite a jump up into 14th place now on 18 points. Woohoo! Into the Void. And I'm going to just own up immediately. I ranked this last, very last. I can't get over what that album represents to me. I didn't think this was Ace really even putting in much of an effort. I like the riff. I do enjoy it live. And again, when it comes to ranking any of these songs, if it's part of the Kiss catalog, I generally like it, but something has to be down at the bottom that I like other stuff more. And Into the Void is just so disappointing. Even more so when you find out that that's pretty much the sum total of his contributions to the album, apart from maybe a little bit of You Wanted the Best and,
In Your Face.
Well, that's a bonus track, and which wasn't included in here. And what was I just going to say? I don't remember. So, Alex, where did you rank it, and why did you rank it such?
I rank this as number 2. I actually like it. But I think for me, it's just the sentiment to it. As a kid growing up, Psycho Circus was the first new album by that lineup. I was 9. So it came out in 98. So I was 9 when the album came out. And I guess it's just happy memories. I saw Ace. I've seen Ace twice, 2008 and 2007. And when I saw him in 2007, it was my first kind of Kiss-related show with my dad. And I remember when he went into the Void, me and my dad kind of geeking out because it was something new, because at that point Ace was just doing, his Kiss material. So it was something new that wasn't part of Ace's, set list before in that sense. And so I guess for me, I probably got more emotional attachment to it, but I just brings me back to happy times.
Daniel, you don't rank it very highly either, do you?
No, I have it in the same spot as you, dead last. But I do understand, Alex, because there's something about being like 10 years old and hearing music that you really like. It sticks for the rest of your life. So I do understand that. But I heard this when I was a grown-up. And I guess it's nice of them to let him have a track on the album, but that's about it. Never cared for it. And all the things you said, Julian, is true as well. I mean, this album is so strange. We don't know who plays what. It isn't really the classic Kiss that it was supposed to be, so it's like, I don't know. I really don't like it, and this is one of the worst songs on the album.
Yeah.
So, dead last.
All right, Ken, bring us back around.
Well, wait a minute here. I think we need a math check because Julian, you have it dead last, and Daniel has it dead last, and I have it dead last. So how did Torpedo Girl fall below Into the Void?
Simply because Alex skewed it so tremendously that he tipped the gravity well of math.
Oh, I see now.
He completely messed with nature. The universe is still adapting to his vote.
Alex, okay, I get it. All right. All right, well, it's obviously on the bottom of my list too. It's a song that's just okay. It's a phoned-in Ace song, in my opinion. I'm sure he had something better sitting around than that he could have, like Gene Simmons, he has like a million songs that he just kind of throw out there. So I would imagine that Ace must have had something, but maybe he was just too lazy.
Saving it for the solo album.
Yeah, save it for his solo albums coming up later, right? That in 2009. So I don't know. It's just not a great song from an album that's just so also.
Take Me to the City.
There you go.
Some of the demos he did in 1995 are pretty damn good. But I also think there's a problem of maybe other people contributed more to those. Maybe, from that lineup, Richie had more, kind of play, and they didn't want anything that had kind of already circulated on Collectors, islands. And Ken, when you ask about how things happened strangely in the rankings, you also have to remember who's doing the math. So things can become...
I thought it was Excel doing the math.
Excel? No. We rip off the Lipstick Panel's method of doing these, but I don't have Greg's wonderful spreadsheet that probably does all the math. So here we go. Moving on. In 13th place. And this one was a bit of a stunner for me, but there we go. On 20 points, Two Sides of the Coin. Ken, I'm going straight back to you.
Okay. Two Sides of the Coin, yeah. It was on the lower half of my list. I just, as far as the songs on, for instance, Unmasked, the other two songs are much better. Well, not much better. Maybe not. That's not true. Torpedo Girl was on it, but one other song is much better. Yeah, Two Sides of the Coin is good. It's not a bad song. I think I just maybe got sick of it. Has a decent chorus on it. But it's just not not one of my favorites that I'm going to go to.
Fair enough. Alex, how about you?
I put it in the middle. It's looking at my list, I definitely lean minus Torpedo Girl. I definitely lean a little bit more towards that. Obviously, the Ace Dynasty on up kind of period, Love Gun period on up. I've liked it. I went through a phase where I was kind of a skip track for a while, and I just kind of recently got moved over back to I actually enjoy this song. It's not a bad song, but it's just kind of middle of the road for me for an Ace track.
Okay, Ken.
You just asked.
Did I? I can't keep track. Daniel, try someone else. How about you over there?
Yeah, I had it in 11th place. For me, this is nothing special. I do like the bridge where Anton Fig goes crazy on the drums.
Yeah.
And there's some guitar stuff that sounds similar to something from Fractured Mirror. That part I do enjoy, but the rest not so much. So 11th place, not very good to my ears. Never have listened to this song a lot. He did a lot of better songs during the 79-80 period that we will come to soon.
Yeah, I had this in 13th. Never been a fan of obvious song titles. Two Sides of the Coin. What's it followed by? Water is wet, snow is cold. Just far too obvious, not very exciting. Wasn't this one that he did on the cruise that I went on? Can't remember. He did Dark Line and something else, whether it was Torpedo Girl or Two Sides of the Coin. But, it's just one of those kind of throwaway tracks for me. Everything you guys all said about Torpedo Girl, I kind of think about this song. So, there we go. It's just one of the weaker contributions as far as I'm concerned. All right, moving into 12th place on 21 points. The first asterisk, Flaming Youth. Daniel, let's start with you. You put an asterisk next to this song in particular.
Well, to me, this is not like an Ace song. It's more of a Bob Ezrin, Paul Stanley song, maybe. I never thought of Ace when I listened to this song as I did with, like Parasite, Cold Gin, and that kind of stuff. And if you read, what's the name of that biography?
Behind the Mask.
Behind the Mask. It's it's pretty obvious that he doesn't even remember what he did for this song. Not that that's very unusual, but for Ace. But
right.
I'm not sure what he contributed with. Maybe the riff.
The riff.
Yeah.
And it's a very identifiable part of the song.
Yeah,
so that is what I read, how I interpreted what I read in Behind the Mask is Ace couldn't remember much of it, but he thought it was the riff. Whereas, Bob is the Calliope, and, Paul is marrying Gene's Mad Dog into one song. So that's why we're in there. Yeah. But what do you think of the song, and where did it fall in your ranking?
It's a good song, but if I'm thinking Ultimate Ace, this is nowhere near Ultimate Ace songs. I mean, so it wasn't very high for me, but it wasn't at the bottom either. I had it in number 8 as number 8. So pretty good. But when I'm thinking of Ace songs, it doesn't like. I'm not thinking Flaming Youth, and if he contributed the riff, well, he did a whole lot more on the other tracks that we'll come to. So it's a good song. Not the best on Destroyer, not the worst, but it's a good song.
I've always enjoyed it. I'm wondering if anyone knows, and I can't think off the top of my head, has Ace ever done this song in his solo set, especially in recent years? I doubt it. I think I'd like to hear him sing this.
So yeah, exactly.
I think he could actually do a good job of it vocally,
maybe.
And it kind of fits his personality and his style. So,
Origins Volume 2.
Well, maybe, and I thought that's what I liked about Origins Volume 1 is when he did a song from the Kiss catalog that we finally got to hear his vocal. We'll talk about that in a bit, I guess. Alex, you ranked this pretty lowly.
Yeah, it's just. I guess I'm a little bit like Mark. I'm not the most craziest for Destroyer. The riff's one of the first riffs I actually learned on guitar, though. And so I guess I should have probably been more kinder to Mr. Fraley with regards to that. But I don't know, the song's never really done it for me, at least studio. I mean, yeah, definitely heard some live versions. There's that really good, fun live version from, was it New Jersey, 76? Was it Roosevelt? And he did a great live then. And then I know Kiss has done it recently in their set list. And so it's been, fun to hear the live versions. I kind of looked at some of these songs, the studio versions, is kind of where I put my biases on, and you'll see that with a couple other choices. But on the studio version, it just doesn't really do much for me.
Fair enough. Ken, middle of the pack for you, I think, or bottom half.
Yeah, well, no, mine falls right where you ranked it. It was like 12, right? That's what I ranked it. So I do agree that Ace should have sung that. It should have been his first lead vocal on that album. It should have been on Destroyer. This should have been it. I mean, I can hear him singing this song. Definitely can hear him. I'm stupid and I'm lazy and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's perfect.
Happy birthday, Ace.
No, I'm not calling you stupid, Ace, but we love you. But I could just hear him singing. And then, but the other part about why it falls lower for me, always thought, yeah, it's a good song. It's always been kind of a Paul song because he sang it, of course. But I know that what you mentioned, Julian, about the Gene Simmons Mad Dog riff is in there, which is, Bob Ezrin pulled, I guess, from, I guess, one of Gene's submissions. So he said, "Oh, that's a little good riff. Let's put that in there." So, but it's a okay song. I mean, people go crazy when Kiss decides to play it on the cruise or wherever.
You caught me trying to fact check myself because I was just going to check the box set credits here and see if, where is it? Is it not on that disc? God. Yeah. Hold on. Mad Dog. Yeah. Mad Dog is only credited to Simmons. So there we go on that. I couldn't remember if Ace had a part of that one either. I actually agree with Daniel's thinking on this. I don't identify it as an Ace song, but I certainly think he could sing it, and I've already said all that, so let's move on. Yep. In 11th place, woohoo! I'm happy this one didn't come higher because I think it's the most overrated Ace song, possibly in the original catalog. On 24 points, Talk to Me. Yet I actually went out and bought the artwork for the UK single. Yeah, go figure. Daniel, let's start with you for this one. What are your thoughts on Talk to Me?
Well, I think this song is Kiss going full sellout mode. Trying to be a boy band almost. Talk to me, I just want a little conversation. Sure, this is Kiss. You want to do a bit more and then have a conversation. I don't know what the hell they're singing about. Who do they think they're fooling? I mean, and if you watch some of those shows from Europe, they were here playing TV shows. It's totally cringe-worthy when you watch those when they play Talk to Me with these cheesy lyrics, and you have Gene Simmons trying to look demonic and like a vampire on stage, and you play these kinds of songs. It really doesn't work. I think it's one of the worst. I had it second to last, actually. I only had Into the Void after this one. So performing stuff like this with Gene in full makeup, going full demon, I mean, it's so cheesy, and it was one of the reasons why Kiss lost their popularity, I think. I mean, playing this kind of stuff and still trying to look like dangerous. It collided somehow. It didn't work. So second to last, Talk to Me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm going to go because I ranked it second from bottom as well. And, back in 1985, 84, when I was getting into harder music, you'd go and listen to Motley Crue shout at the devil and 10 Seconds to Love. And then you put on Unmasked and you listen to Talk to Me, All I Want's a Little Conversation. In terms of the messaging, I'm sure some people find it highly appropriate that, yes, we should be having a conversation. But for 14-year-old me, I was just sitting there going, talk? Alex.
I ranked it a bit higher. It was number 4 for me. between one. Again, I guess just sentiments, you know. I mean, the first Kiss CDs I picked up was like Ace's solo album, Dynasty, and Unmasked, and The Elder. So obviously that period of like kind of Ace singing lead songs, honestly. And I think it's just I've always just thought it was kind of a catchy, fun song. I was always kind of irritated it wasn't done live, really, even in the U.S. on Ace's solo tours. You know, he'd go to Australia and he pulls it out, and it's like with Kiss with Shandy. I'd love to go to a Kiss show and see them pull out Shandy, just because I think it's a nice song and I enjoy it. So that's kind of with Talk to Me, and I've always loved that live version that's on the box set from, I think it's that Sydney 1980. Which they did. I will say, if you look at the live versions, I feel the Kiss live versions from the 80 are way better than when they did it on the 2001 farewell tour.
Yeah, I can't listen to that Sydney show from 80. It's just so tinny and trebly, and, you know, cats howling. It's really painful. I like the New Zealand version. And the 2001 farewell tour, when they pulled it out again with Eric, that's a good performance of Talk to Me live. Ken, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this song falls right in the middle of the pack, right in the middle for me, around 8. So it's a okay song. Again, another kind of corny song. It was released as a single, right? So they must have thought it was pretty darn good on the album. But, you know, what was good, I think they were hoping that, you know, Ace's luck was going to keep going, but he pretty much shot his load on his 78 solo album, because the songs that follow the 78 solo album aren't even up to, you know, that standard, what came after. So, yeah, it falls in the middle for me. It's kind of okay, fun song, different, but not great.
Yeah, here's a funny, weird factoid. There was actually a Russell Ballad song considered for Unmasked. There we go. And I'm not going to say...
Well, it's not surprising.
Yeah, they probably should have, but because they had the Command song, you know, leading off that album, they might have thought that having 2 non-Kiss written songs on one album was too much. Instead, they figured they'd have 3 Ace songs, which... don't know if that's such a good idea. Okay, moving on. Yeah. We come to our next asterisk in 10th place on 26 points. Coming Home. Danny, I'll start with you again because you're the guy who's putting asterisks on the ones. And again, we go to Behind the Mask, and Ace can't remember what he contributed. Paul can't remember what Ace contributed, which is really rather strange because I would have thought Paul, of all people, would either minimize Ace's contributions or say that he had something absolutely brilliant that he was able to build an awesome song out of. So I'm guessing Riff. Again, I'm thinking the beginning of Coming Home is probably Ace, and that's just because of the feel of it. And there's nothing further for me to actually build that on. But as Paul says in Behind the Mask, is that they would try, you know, different sorts of songwriting combinations at the time to see what would happen. And this is obviously one of the, you know, the results of those combination tryouts. Daniel, your thoughts on Coming Home?
Yeah, to me it sounds like a Paul Stanley song. I mean, there ain't a whole lot of riffing going on. It's more like chords being played. And the best part of Coming Home is actually Paul's vocals, I would say. We all remember the unplugged version, which is outstanding, mostly because Paul sings it so well. There isn't really a riff that stays with you after hearing this song. It's more like chord changes. And I don't hear Ace on this one. I'm not sure what I did on this one. So to me, it once again isn't an Ace song, but I had it in 9th place. But mostly because Paul sings it so well. Nothing spectacular about the solo or the chords. So nothing really Ace-ish about this song. Yeah.
So you don't think it's plausible that Paul did the music and Ace did the lyrics on this?
No, I don't think that either. No.
All right. Alex, let's go to you next.
Just pull on my list. I did rank a little bit higher. I ranked this at number 10 on the list. Just kind of, I guess, I've always kind of, when I guess that Ace must have contributed the kind of like that main, riff to the song. I've always liked Coming Home. Again, happy memories coming home from trick-or-treating with my dad when I was like 6 and sitting with him on the couch and watching MTV Unplugged. So, yeah.
Ken.
Coming Home falls low on my list. I think it is because it's got to be mostly a Paul written song. Like Daniel said, it doesn't sound anything like an Ace kind of song at all. And it's not one of my favorite Kiss songs in general. It's okay song. It's a pretty good song. I think it's better, unplugged than on Hotter Than Hell. But yeah, it falls real low on my list, and most of it's because I don't think it's Ace, hardly Ace, probably not even 1% Ace.
Fair enough, and it's not one I can imagine Ace, pulling out in a solo set. Here's one that I co-wrote with Paul back in the early day, and launching it and coming. It doesn't work from that context. And thank you also for mentioning the MTV Unplugged version of it, though, as a song, as a performance. Wow, I never get tired of anyone saying something about Unplugged so that I can, become all SpongeBob over it. Let's move on to in ninth place. On 30 points, so now we're getting a bit of separation on the points. Getaway. Ken, I'll go straight back to you for that.
Yeah, Getaway. I ranked it 7 on my list, so a little bit higher than the average here. I always like that song. I don't know what it is. I always like the riff in it, the chorus, and I guess part of the reason I like it so much is the way Peter sings it. I just thought it's always been one of Kiss's, more underrated type songs out there. I've always liked it. So, I can hear the Ace, writing in it, definitely. He wasn't ready to sing it yet, obviously. But, Peter did a good job. And it's, to me, I never skip that one. It's always good.
Daniel, how about you?
This is actually one of my favorite Ace Frehley songs. I had it in third place. And I think when he was at his best, Ace managed to capture a feeling in the lyrics, a feeling we've all had. And this is one of those songs, you're tired of people at work, maybe tired of the city where you live, maybe tired of your girlfriend and everything, and you just want to get away. And this song is perfect when you feel like that. Mm-hmm. And we've all had those feelings at some points. So I do like the lyrics in this one, and that's not very common when it comes to Ace Frehley songs. So he's not the most known lyricist, but this one is really good. And again, a great solo on this one, great classic Ace Frehley solo, and it almost feels like an early Paul Stanley song as this one as well. It's a lot of sort of like, I don't know what you call it when you do it's like a blues riff all through the song, and of course, as you said, Ken, the vocals from Peter are just great, and he managed to express the feeling with his vocals, especially towards the end when he starts, screaming out the lyrics over the chorus, and you have a great ending to the song as well. I always enjoy when they have an ending to the song, and not only a fade out. I think it's kind of boring. So, in third place, Getaway, a great song.
Nice, Alex. You ranked this the same as me, so I'll let you go first.
I did.
Your thoughts.
And I guess I'll steal your previous answer. You kind of had to rank certain songs higher than the others on the list in a way. And I guess for me, I know Ace has a songwriting credit. I guess I've always thought of it as a Peter song. Do you know what I mean? Like it just to me it's a Peter took the song and he owned it. And so when I think of Ace Frehley memorable songs, this one doesn't really jump out to me. Because I guess it's just think it's a Peter song.
Yeah,
But it's
well,
not.
you totally are on the same wavelength as me. I can't get past thinking of this as a Peter song, even though Ace's name is next to it. I can't imagine Ace being able to sing something of this tempo, which really makes it more impressive. Yeah, it makes it more impressive that he wrote this, and there's no one else's name tacked onto it. As you know, I wouldn't be surprised if someone, Gene or Paul, did offer little suggestions to help craft it. But it's such a wonderful up-tempo poppy song, and it's only down my list because there's other stuff that I like more. It's a fantastic bit of pop perfection that Peter absolutely owns. I can't not think about Peter Criss's voice on this song. I can't even think of the solo. I can only think of Peter singing it, which is, just how much he owns it for me. So, great thoughts. I can't imagine Ace even trying this one live. Imagine, just again, the tempo for how he plays these days, how turgid and molasses-soaked his playing is at times. But absolutely fantastic. All the superlatives we've kind of sung about the song. Absolutely excellent. All right, moving into 8th place on 33 points. Dark Light. Ken, first up.
Yeah, Dark Light is, I like it on the Elder. I mean, it kind of works in there. But I don't think it's one of his, best songs, though I ranked it at 10 on my list. Maybe you guys ranked it a little bit higher than me. But maybe not Daniel. I always liked the song. I thought it's a good song. It's a little different. I think it was originally a song called "Don't Run." I think, right? So maybe the "Don't Run" would have worked better. I mean, in the version instead of this Darklight version that they kind of converted it to fit the Elder and the theme of it. So maybe it lost something, I'm guessing. But it's a decent song. I do like the solo, crazy, just picking away as fast as you can. I almost thought it when I first heard it. I was like, it sounds like something Santana would do. It was just different for Ace. But it's a good song.
Yeah, Alex, what about you? And I just have to step away for a second. I can hear you.
I rank this as number 1. I love it. It's a fun song. It's such a fun song.
Number 1 and number 2, Into the Void, and number 4, Flaming Youth. It's like upside down list.
It's such a fun song to play on the drums, though. It is just a fun, groovy song. And again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sentimental fool or something. I remember picking up the Elder and putting it in the car. I went with my dad to the record shop that was like 35 minutes north of where we lived, and getting that CD and driving on back with that CD. And when the song came on, because I remember I'd always seen the Beyond the Makeup special, where Ace says he took the album and he threw it against the wall, and so I just always figured he didn't contribute at all to the album, and yet here was this song of Ace on there, and I was just like, what is this magical moment I am having? And so I've always just loved it. I don't care, man. Y'all can hate me for what you want for it. It's just great. And like I said, it's just fun to play on the drums. And the solo, I wish Ace was up to par to play it. I know other people from the Kiss cruise when Ace's band attempted to play it live. And I know a lot of people say, well, hey, I got to see it live, and kudos. I really wish they would have practiced this one up. I think it would have been a complete magical moment on the Kiss cruise if it was up to par.
Nice. There are no wrong opinions. Only trolls think that. And
we can't all think the same.
Yeah, forget about them. Imagine, I saw it on the cruise, and I geeked out. As imperfect as it was, I was thrilled. I was pleased. If I could change one thing, and it's kind of been touched on, I would have had him revert it back to Don't Run and said, I didn't need Lou Reed to fix my lyrics for me. I think it sounded fine. And I think he probably could have done the mumbling bits much better nowadays, taking it back there. But on the Elder, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Ezrin certainly captured his guitars and the attack in it perfectly. But again, I prefer Don't Run. I live for the day that there is a crystal clear copy of that demo from, the multi-tracks if it survives, or from a mix down. But I also believe that Ace contributed far more to The Elder than he admits or remembers. Probably remembers, because there are jams, that do now circulate for collectors out there that suggest that he was actively, participating in Canada.
Sure.
We have interviews that he was up at Ezrin's house, drunk, but there. So that's the point. Daniel, Darklight.
Yeah, number 12 for me. I have to agree with what Ken said. It was the first thing that came to me. It is that it feels kind of constructed to fit The Elder, and that kind of ruins it a bit. The lyrics and even the solo to some extent, it doesn't feel. I mean, you guys like the solo. To me, it's one of his least memorable. I think it lacks melody, it lacks charm, it lacks everything that's typical of Ace. I mean, that you can hum along with the solo and you remember it. It's like a song in the song, This one to me is him jerking off on guitar, and I don't like that. So I prefer his melodic solos. So to me, it's number 12, and it was constructed to fit The Elder, and that ruined the song a bit. So it's pretty good. And I guess it's fun to play on drums, but that doesn't make it a good song to me.
You make me feel dirty now.
Lazy
I didn't
Ace.
get you. Yeah.
Lazy Ace.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. This next one actually surprised me that it was kind of at this point in our ranking. So in 7th place on 34 points, Hard Times, which of course was the B-side to which single was it? I Was Made for Loving You.
I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah. With the actual end. The single edit has the ending coda on it, which is not on the album version, which was always one of those first things I actually noticed to be different on a single. So it's actually special to me for that reason. But I'm surprised it didn't rank higher. Alex, let's go back to you for that.
Yeah, looking at my list, I ranked it at number 6. I love Dynasty. I think Dynasty is a fantastic album. And when Ace did this song live, because he did put it live in his live shows, it was always like awesome, something from Dynasty and stuff, and it wasn't 2000 Man, so I was excited and stuff. I think it's just a fun song. I think it's very autobiographical of Ace to a degree, and so I just always thought I feel like maybe he had fun doing this song. When you hear the lyrics and it's kind of autobiographical, you kind of think, at least for me, he must be having fun doing this song himself too. So if he's having fun, I gotta have fun.
There we go. Ken.
Yeah, I talked about this one before. I think when we talked about Dynasty. This song I really do like a lot, and I did buy that single when it came out. I Was Made for Loving You. Before the album was released, I bought the single, and I ended up playing the B side more than the A side. So I was playing Hard Times quite a lot. I really, really thought, thoroughly enjoyed this song, the riff of it and the theme. And yes, it's by it's a story from obviously Ace's maybe childhood or teen years in New York. And I ranked this at 5 on my list. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep. Daniel.
Yeah, much like Cold Gin or the previous song we talked about, Getaway, this is one of his best lyrics, as you mentioned, Alex. I think it fits his character and much more than a song like Talk to Me, which is just silly. But there are a lot of things to like in this song. Great, strong vocals. I mean, he was maybe at his peak when it comes to singing at this point. A chorus that sticks. I mean, you don't forget that chorus. Great drumming, of course, on this album. I don't know why, but there's some reason why it was so good. Yeah, and what else? An ending, a good ending. And I also like the transition from the smooth bridge to the solo, echoing Ace's voice. You know, they have an echo when he shouts at the end of the bridge, and then it goes into a screaming guitar solo. So there's a lot of stuff on this song that I like. I think it's a very good Ace song. I had it at 7.
Yeah, and I think you sum it up perfectly. I mean, it's in the bottom half for me just because it kind of falls down there. When I listen to Dynasty, you know, there are 2 autobiographical songs about life in New York. You know, so you've got Dirty Living and you've got Hard Times. And I just gravitate more to Peter's again because I like his voice. But in terms of songcraft, Ace did a fantastic job with this song and it's executed perfectly. So, you know, again, it's bottom half just because there's other stuff that I prefer more. All right, in 6th place, Strange Ways. Back to you, Daniel. And that had 35 points. So it only just pipped Hard Times.
Yeah, I guess this is, to some of you guys, maybe more of a Peter song than if I think of what you said about Getaway. But if you look past that, this is a great Ace song. You know, you have the slow, plodding, sinister riff. Ace was clearly the riff master of Kiss at this point, and of course, Peter's vocals are great. And I also like that you can hear Gene very clear on the chorus, doing his sort of Cookie Monster demon voice. And once again, he managed to capture a feeling in this one. I think it's I don't know really what it's about, but it feels dark. It feels sinister. I really like it, and classic Ace solo. One of his solos that you remember, that you can sing along to, much better than Dark Light. And so it's just a good song, Strange Ways. And I liked it when actually Eric Singer performed it with his band, I think, in the maybe late 90s. It was really good, yeah.
Yeah, I love watching this song get performed, even though Ace doesn't sing it. And I think, like Flaming Youth, I'd be interested to hear an Ace vocal version of it, because I think it's slow enough that at least in the studio he could do so, even if he's always had, like, you know, his cast members sing it for him live in concert. Because, you know, I usually watch him. I'm fixated on him during this song, watching him. You know, so it is dark. It is kind of Sabbathy. It is, you know, it's got a great groove to it. Alex, Strange Ways.
Looking at my list, my phone's being all silly today. Let's see, it ranked number 9 for me on my list. It's a slow song. It's a weird song. It's a strange song. The way of it is so strange. I've always like it to me. It's always been slow, but yet, like you mentioned, Julian, it's like you're fascinating to kind of see it live. And like you, when I saw Ace both times, even though his bass player was singing the song, I was looking at Ace and watching him as he was playing it and so forth. And I mean, I just can't imagine how it would have sounded with that drum solo that Peter wanted on it originally. But because it moves a little slow, but it's like a slow goodness, I guess. You know, like you said, molasses, what, right? You know, but you know, if you cook with molasses, they come out really good. And I feel like the song's kind of like that. It's got that just the right mixture of slowness that makes it unique and amazing.
Nice, Ken.
Yeah, well, Julian, you touched on it earlier. I know what I was going to say is it was Ace's attempt at a Black Sabbath type song, because it's a lot like that. You know, that slow, dirgy kind of. You know, a plodding song, and even though it is like that, it's really good. It's a great song, and this crazy, you know, solo that he has in this song, it's just one of the wildest solos on any of the Kiss songs. I think it may have been pieced together from maybe multiple attempts at it, but it was just crazy crazy, but it fits perfect because it is a kind of strange and dark kind of thing. So it's a good song. I ranked it, 6 on my list.
Yeah, it really comes from a time where there were no rules for Kiss. The Hotter
I
Than Hell
true.
album.
And I want to add, like, it's weird because, I think we've always, as Kiss fans, we've always kind of criticized the production of Hotter Than Hell
Right.
as an album. But yet this song, that production really fits well with this song.
Yeah, totally works.
Ironic.
I agree.
Yep.
Agree.
All right, so moving into 5th place now. Again, clear separation into the top 5 on 40 points. Save Your Love. Straight back to Dynasty. This is actually one of my all-time favorite Kiss songs. I love playing it on the guitar and trying to sing along to it because I just can't do those two things at the same time. Well, some people say I can't do either separately either. But it's such a fun song. Again, so well crafted. 78, 79, he really hit a peak. It's just such a great pop song with a hard rock edge. Daniel.
Yeah, I had it at number 6. I like the theme of this song as well. Getting rid of an annoying girlfriend, I guess. Or it's basically about telling people to fuck off. I mean, and at times that is very titillating to think that you actually can say that to your boss or your ex-girlfriend or something, that you really can express what you feel. And I think the song is kind of 2 parts of the song. I mean, you have the verses where it's kind of a therapeutic talk. Ace tries to explain that it's over and they need to go their separate ways. And it seems as if the girl doesn't get it, so he kind of screams it during the choruses, save your love for someone else. And I think the choruses and the verses are in stark contrast to each other, and it works real well. Strong vocals once again, and he really sings the chorus with conviction. And I also like that you can hear Paul very clear on the chorus. You hear his voice very clear there. And the solo is once again great. And again, awesome drums on this one. And I like the way he screams on this one. Baby, it's over, and mess up my mind. It's over now. I mean, he really goes for it on this song, and he pulls it off. And it's a real good A song, one of his best. Number 6 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you touched on 2 things there: his vocal and the gang vocals. But just think, he goes from this sort of subject matter, save your love, into just wanting to talk to me. Figure.
Yeah, it's off.
Alex.
I know I ranked this after Hard Times, so I guess that puts it at number 7. So kind of like in the middle, but same thing like Daniel said. I've always loved Paul's vocal you hear in the background. And I don't know, do you guys ever like find music to be therapeutic and stuff when you've gone through rough times in life and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
For the heartbreak. And I always had my heartbreak playlist. When a relationship might have ended, or maybe you just kind of go separate with a girl, and this was like always on that list. This and like Move On by Paul Stanley. You put those 2 songs on repeat a couple times, and you feel good after about a 30-minute session.
Yeah, my music on that's all Mozart, Vivaldi, and Jean-Michel Jarre. So I don't listen to hard rock to deal with my emotions. Ken.
Julian, do you have any Grey Poupon?
No, I don't. Sorry. English mustard only in this house.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so this song is about the middle of my list, or just below the middle, actually. I like it. The only part I would think I would get rid of is where it's the stretched out, save your love, save it. I would have just cut that out and went straight to the chorus. Just cut it, go straight to the other part of the chorus. Save your love, I don't need it, and so on. That's just my opinion. The save your love, save it kind of semi gets on my nerves a little bit, but otherwise it's a really good song and a great solo on there by Ace. I do agree with Daniel about he's his vocals are really good, especially towards the end of the song. But it's good enough.
Good enough. That's that. There you go, Ace.
Good
Happy
enough for
birthday.
me.
Good enough. All right, so we're into the top four here. We've got a little bit of a bunch up in these next three, and in fourth place on 42 points, Cold Gin. And I guess this could have been higher, should have been higher, but Alex voted it down very low. Alex, explain yourself, young man.
Okay.
You know, we talked about the goodness of the slowness on Strange Ways. I guess again I tried to really focus on the studio versions for my listing and those versions, and I just always thought it was like a slow, dull song. I mean, live it's great, and don't get me wrong, when I've seen Ace live and he pulls it out, it's freaking awesome. And even like when I saw Kiss when he did it on the Kiss Alive 35/Sonic Boom tour, it was awesome. I just studio wise, I've just always it's not one of my favorites. And now I'm speaking blasphemy here amongst the Kishtians, but you know.
Remember, there is no wrong opinion. This was the song. I was really thrilled that he put this on Origins and did his own version after performing it live for so many years.
I love the Origins version. That's one of my favorite ones to go to. So I don't know.
It just tickles me knowing what we know now, that getting Simmons to sing about alcohol, it's just priceless. That is just Ace. No, Gene, I'm not ready to sing this one. You sing it. Daniel, your thoughts on Cold Gin?
Yeah, you know, opinions are all equal, but some opinions are more equal than others. And this is number 2 on my list. And I just remember, I guess this is kind of, you know, as you mentioned, Dark Light was fun to play on drums. The first time I picked up an electric guitar and played this riff, I actually managed to do it, you know, and it sounded cool and it sounded heavy. And to this day, this is one of my go-to songs when I just fiddle around on the guitar. I love the riff. To me, it's maybe the best or the second best riff of all time when it comes to Ace. And it's just a classic song, and the lyrics fits perfectly. It's just a shame that he didn't sing it himself. I mean, it would have been even better. And as Julian said, I mean, Gene Simmons singing this song is kind of ridiculous. You know, he's never had a drink in his life. But as a song, to me, I do agree. It's kind of slow, the studio version. It's very slow. But I guess I look past that, and it's just classic Ace song. When you think about Ace, this is one of the songs that comes to mind.
Excellent.
Number 2.
Excellent. That's why I went from bottom rank to the highest rank. Ken?
Well, you know, Alex was talking that, you know, it's too slow for him. But you know what else is slow, Alex, is your clock behind you is about a minute and a half slow. So I just want you to check that. Anyway, that's true. I noticed that earlier. Anyway. The song, I love the song. I agree, though, that, on the first album, for instance, that song and Firehouse, both were kind of a little bit on the slower side than what they play, you know, live. But Cold Gin is just a classic song. I had it as number 3 on my list. Classic song, a great middle section, which he turns out, I guess, was written by Gene Simmons. But he didn't take credit for it. So it's just a classic Kiss song that they still do it in concert sometimes, some of their tours. But it's a great one of his obviously best Ace, you know, written songs about his favorite subject.
Yep. Might be the case. All right, so before we get into the top 3 and everyone thinks that Captain Obvious is going to appear, I'm going to do the recap before we get there. So in 15th place, Torpedo Girl. In 14th, Into the Void. 13th, Two Sides of the Coin, or Three Sides of the Coin if you prefer. In 12th place, Flaming Youth. 11th, Talk to Me. 10th, Coming Home. 9th, Getaway. 8th, Dark Light. 7th, Hard Times. 6th, Strange Ways. 5th, Save Your Love. 4th, Cold Gin, and in 3rd place on 43 points, Shock Me. Ken, back to you.
Shock Me. Great song. It's number 4 on my list, so right near there. Yeah, first is Ace's first vocal. It's pretty good. I always thought it was weird. I mean, when I first bought Love Gun, when I was first getting into Kiss back then, in '77, I thought this voice sounds so weird and different from the other, 2 or 3 singers, Gene and Paul and Peter. I thought, gee, I don't really like his vocal, and it's not his best vocal. It really isn't. But it's a great riff of this song is just great. Plus the solo, one of the greatest solos that he's done, I guess. It's maybe a top 10 solo for Ace on songs, and of course he expanded on it in live in concert when he did that solo. It became part of the big, longer, stretched out solo. So that's how good it was. So it's a great song. The only thing that always bothered me is his vocals weren't as strong, but it's his first vocal, so I can't give him too much of a bad time.
No, blame Eddie Kramer.
Yeah, I'll blame Eddie.
There you go. Alex, you ranked this the highest out of the 4 of us, so tell us what you love about Shock Me.
It's such a fun song. Kind of Kim said, a lot of the stuff, with being the first, with Ace's lead vocal, just so many, kind of going off in the studio, so many great live versions of this song out there. You even seeing Ace live when I saw him the 2 times, and of course going into the solo, and just again a little bit of that autobiographical. I mean, obviously, some differences and a little bit of the lyrics too, but you hear the story of him being electrocuted and then coming up with a song and stuff. It's always kind of fun when you get those fun stories about a song going in there, and I think. Love Gun, I think, is just such a fantastic Kiss album, too, as it is. So I think that's kind of why I rank it a little bit higher with Eddie Kramer's production. Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, I rank it highly just because it's a fun song. Innuendo is such a critical part of,
right.
Writing fun material, not being blatantly vulgar or crass, but just being playful. And you know exactly what he's talking about. It's a bit like Aerosmith's Walk This Way, and some of the other songs of the 70s where you're like, I can't believe they got away with that. But it was done in such a way that you can totally believe that they got away with it. Compare that to music in the 21st century where it's actually, like, oh my God. People actually pay to listen to someone saying that, or maybe I just became my parents, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, what are your thoughts on Shock Me?
Well, because it's Ace's first vocal, I think this song gets a bit too much credit, and also it's been done live a lot, so people have been turned on to it. I don't think this is one of his best ones. I think the drumming on this one might be the best part for me, and the solo is great, of course, but he has many great solos. But I think this is one of Peter's most fun drum tracks. It's really innovative, or whatever you call it. He's very playful, and it comes up with a lot of small things, that works well. So, but to me, the riff is nowhere near Cold Gin or Parasite or things like that. It's kind of fun, but it's not very memorable. So I do like the song, but I just have to put in my 2 cents here because I don't think it's a top song for Ace. I actually put it in 10th place. And I think, yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything about that, but I think you've raised a completely valid point, that there are better crafted songs, both musically, lyrically, and in terms of vocal performance by Ace on this list, but we're sentimental about it because it was his first, lead vocal, both on Love Gun and then the performance on Alive too. So yeah.
And as Ken said, the vocals are pretty weak in comparison to Hard Times and Save Your Love and stuff like that.
Really fun solo on it.
Yeah, the solo is great.
Yeah.
And
all right, moving into second place on 44 points, and it was only by a gnat's hair. Parasite took the second spot. So Ken, let's go back to Hotter Than Hell with you for this song.
Yeah, Parasite, great song. Love the song. It is on number 2 on my list also, so it's right there, the sweet spot. It's just again, here's another one. Of subject matter is I don't know what the song is exactly about, but it's a great song, and Gene's vocals fit it perfectly. So I don't know what to say about it. I just like it when I hear it. Everything about it is a good song. It's one of his best, obviously, on my list, one of his best ever written songs.
Yeah, I had it in third place. There's a couple of songs on here. Cold Gin, Shock Me. I have never tried to play on guitar. Parasite, from day one with a guitar, I think that would have been on my list to try. It's fun to play. It doesn't have to make any sense. That's a great thing about music. It can just sound good.
That's true.
And it's so fun in concert. What can you say? I actually think about the guitar more than I think about Gene's vocal. So there you go. Daniel, your thoughts on Parasite?
To me, this is the ultimate Ace song. It's number 1 at my list. And, it's a heavy, really cool riff. Maybe the coolest bridge of all time. And as Julian said, it's wonderful to play on guitar. It's really fun. And you can play it it's not that hard to learn either. And but the solo part on that goes over the bridge is real cool. And one of Ace's classic solos, of course. And you got yourself the ultimate Ace track. I mean, and the name of it, Parasite. I mean, English is not my native tongue. So when I was a kid, I didn't really know anything what the songs were about. But Parasite is parasit in Swedish, so it's almost the same word. So I got the idea immediately there. And to me, it's about some girl leeching on a man and
sucking his blood.
Sucking his blood. Yeah, sort of. But let be about anything. But to me, it's always been about that, a parasite. Yeah.
Nice. Alex, you're up.
Yeah, and I ranked this pretty low, 14. But I also look at the list of the songs of what I go to listen to. When I'm at a Kiss show, when I'm at an Ace Frehley show, and he goes into this song, it is a fun song to be a part of. Because when you're at a concert, there's that concert experience that you're going through and stuff with all the other fans and everything like that. And so in the live setting, it's fun to be a part of and stuff. So as a go-to track to put on to listen to, it hasn't been a big favorite of mine. But like I just said, like at a Kiss show though, if it's in the set list, I'm not upset though.
Yeah,
I think it was a shame they left it off Alive 3 because they played it on the Revenge tour. I really looked forward to have a perfect, clear version with Eric Singer on the drums, because that was one of the songs that he kind of updated in the early 90s, and you're like, wow, this is how it can sound. So that's a
maybe on the Alive 3 Deluxe Edition that Universal is just raring to release to us. Okay, forget it. Number 1, it's obvious, Rocket Ride, by a mile. I mean, we go from 44 points in second place to 53, and it's not just because Ken and I ranked it as our favorite Ace Frehley song. Ken, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to, pick the number 1, but it's kind of in a way a no-brainer. It's just a great song. I mean, it was like an extra song for Alive 2, side 4, and the song just totally fits Ace. It's just like, oh yeah, that's Ace. I mean, you got the rocket, space, spaceship kind of stuff. And there's like you talked about earlier, Julian, the innuendo is again. And it's just a very, very cool riff, different riff. And the solo is different too. The solo, he did something different on it, so I can't remember what it was, right? And you guys could probably explain it because you guys are the guitarist. But he did something different that I think he's never done before, before or after on a Kiss album, as far as the solo was. But just a great, great song. And I think they released it as a single, obviously, because it was obviously that good of a song. Unfortunately, I don't think it did well, but
it did. It was top 40.
Oh, it did hit top 40. Okay.
Well, Paola was probably involved, but it was a top 40
close.
single.
All right. So, it was Ace starting to fall into his groove, New York groove, I guess, for right before the '78 solo album. I mean, his writing was really at his peak, or getting to its peak.
Yeah, he was peaking at the right time. I'm just going to go next because, he obviously shocked them with how good Rocket Ride was, being the second single off Alive 2 and going top 40. But I have always loved this song. I love the tempo and, again, the innuendo, the kind of the songcraft for me. So I'd like to think that I'd be consistent every time I had to pick a favorite Ace song, that this would always be my favorite one because, it's just one of those songs. I loved it a few years ago when Ace did a t-shirt of the girl riding the rocket, the girl grabbing a hold of a rocket. I just they didn't make it super fat people size, so I couldn't have one. But I hopefully can find one at some point as I get skinnier. So there we go. Daniel, yes. Rocket Ride.
Yeah, it's a great tune. I had it in fourth place. I like the build-up to the riff in the beginning, and the riff, of course, is one of his most classic riffs. It's like a better version of the Torpedo Girl riff. It's kind of fun. It sounds kind of funny. It's not that dark and sinister like Parasite or Cold Gin, but it's a fun riff, and it's fun to play. And again, one of the classic Ace Frehley solos, and he has that kind of space-ish effect on the guitar. It sounds really cool, which Ken mentioned. And I like the live feel of the ending where he goes kind of crazy. And the song is performed as if it was performed live in the studio. So it sounds really cool, and one of his best songs.
Yep. All right, Alex, it's been so long since we've had you on the show. You get to have the final word.
Oh, great. I put this at 5, on my list, but I love it. I actually had that T-shirt, Julian, but my mom, being the good saintly woman that she was, she took a black Sharpie to edit the shirt for me. So
now you're a parent, you'll understand a lot more of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she was a bit fat on that rocket, but went home with it, and she was like, "What is on the back of your shirt?" But yeah. But the song's great, and I've always, gosh, Ian, can we talk Kiss missed mistakes? Why has Kiss never had this in their set list?
Don't get me started.
The Dynasty tour, the reunion, the whole time Ace was back. We'll add that to that list. The missed Kiss opportunities list as well. Great song. I'm always happy when Ace does it, and even just all the fun motions he makes with the guitar just makes it a fun song.
Come on, Tommy. There's still time for you to do the song live in a Kiss set and make me happy. If Ace isn't going to do it,
wait till next year, maybe.
Well, you can't do it with Ace now. So that would be wild, though, if he actually came out and did a guest spot and they did Rocket Ride with Ace. I agree.
It'd be awesome.
I agree, Alex. That is the kissed opportunity that is probably at the top. We've done an episode on that, haven't we?
We did.
I think we mentioned that was
probably
one of them. because I know we've talked about it before. So there we are. There's our list. Those are how we ranked Ace's solo or Ace's contributions to Kiss during his 2 tenures in the band, or his 2 tenures to date in the band. What do you agree with? What do you think is an egregious error in our opinions? Do let us know how you would have approached this topic. What's your favorite Ace vocal? What's the song that you think best represents Ace? So wherever you listen to this show, whether it's on iTunes or whether it's while taking a break from fighting on the FAQ or on YouTube, chime in with your opinion. We'd love to know what you think. But for now, from Daniel, from Ken, from Alex, and myself, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Synchronize your clocks.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.